Welcome to our episode 2 discussion for Leia. In this episode, we shall be talking about, well, you guessed it, episode 2, and a little summary of what happened. If you have not watched it, go watch it. This will be spoilers. So, a little summary of what happened was, in the first episode, we got to meet a little bit about Leia, how she kind of views the world, and you got to learn that she does a lot of thinking up here. And then in the second episode, you learned, again, go to watch it, you learned that
Big spoiler.
You got to meet some of the new characters. You got to meet Angelica.
Got to meet Chad.
Got to meet Chad. Very briefly.
Yes, for like less than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You'll get more.
You got to meet Edward with one line. You got to meet Miss Jones. Who else did you meet? You didn't meet. Nope. I think that was it.
Yeah. Oh, Crocs is
that's
episode
in part
3.
3.
Yeah, so episode 3 you'll get to hear Crocs.
Baby Angelica was there.
I don't think No, you get to see Angelica. Oh yeah, you do hear Angelica.
I just said Angelica first.
Yeah, you did. I forgot.
Baby Angelica.
Baby Angelica.
Baby Angelica too. Yes, you
Angelica.
gotta hear Baby Angelica.
Yes. All right. Favorite characters from episode 2. This is gonna be the first question, our warm-up question for each new one. I'm deciding that now. Executive decision made by the dice. What's your guys' favorite characters from episode 2?
Chad.
Chad as well. Good old one-line Chad. Angelica. Oh man, for me, it's either the sidewalk that Leia fell onto, or it is or Miss Jones. And I say she's my favorite character, not because I think she's a great person. I love the idea of a very angry Scottish teacher that, like, at some point probably really liked their job, was like super excited to teach, and then like just realized the reality of working with teenagers and especially freshmen, which our main character, all of our main characters are, except Crocs. I don't think Crocs is a freshman. Is he? It's because Crocs is a few years older.
Yeah. It's a very interesting take on Miss Jones, I guess.
And I think somewhat like episode 1, it was a peek into Leia's life a little bit more exposition onto why Leia is the way she is, why she is sort of sad girl, and how a little bit more knowledge on, or a little bit more insight into reasons why somebody who's seemingly normal would end up in the criminal justice system because of the mental state of mind that they're in as a result of a lot of different stuff going on in their life. Previous episode was about like what's going on at home, right? My parents don't like my art career, and life sucks at home. The parents aren't fun to be around, and now we're looking at school stuff, right? Why life sort of sucks at school. I don't really understand the material. The teachers don't really like us. They're not really all that involved in trying to teach us stuff or get to know us. I'm no longer friends with my previous best friends who I've been friends with since like kindergarten, I believe, was what was said in episode 2. and how that friendship really, like the ending of that friendship, not only messed up the relationship between her and Angelica, but also between her and Chad and Chad and Crocs. So a lot of stuff got really messed up, and a lot of that emotional damage and scarring uh, compiled on the fact that her home life is also bad. Is going to contribute to how she ends up in the criminal justice system, why she ends up there, the reasons that she does what she does to end up in there. I think that's super important, you know? Do you still feel like Chad and Crocs are bros?
Can you hear me?
I heard you say I can hear you, but am I confident that it will remain that way? I'm not.
What do
not.
you?
I don't know if that's my internet.
Me and Gabriella.
Fine, bro.
Oh. So I don't think they're particularly best friends. They obviously, as far as we've seen, don't hang out with each other. Still undecided. But I mean, they're like the Crocs bros. They wear neon Crocs or other type of Crocs. I don't think there's more embarrassing ones. To like football games and stuff. I don't know. They're the Crocs bros. They can't be split up.
I don't know, because FYI guys, I'm not the one working on the Chad backstory and all that. That is Gabriella and April who are working on it. So yeah, that's you two. And you guys could give the most insight to if Chad and Crocs are still bros, but
So I don't know if I'll ever write this in, but just know that Chad and Crocs hold a very special place in my heart for very complicated reasons. And
yeah, sure.
Chad is my favorite character. Like out of all the characters, like Crocs, he's pretty cool. Not the concept of Crocs themselves, but Chad is my favorite because Mans is he's just trying his best in life, and he's kind of like this idiot who's like really trying really hard, and it's really endearing, and I'm like, oh, you tried so hard but you did it so wrong. But it's like, look at him go.
She currently has
Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, she had
Yeah.
somebody just asked her who she was talking to, and he just talked again. I don't think he realizes we're in the middle of a recording right now.
Anyways, sorry about that. Like I was saying,
It's no problem.
yeah, no, Chad is definitely my favorite character. Yeah, that's it. I don't really have much comment to say other than he's my favorite. I will make an entire backstory, but I'm trying to hold myself back because it will distract me from writing the other stuff.
That's fair. That is fair. Because Chad was, I think Chad was your grandbaby, right, April?
I don't know. I have a lot of C-named children, apparently. A lot of C-named grandbabies.
I think it was Chad and Crocs were both April's design, because initially we started writing, when we first started writing this, Leia's life was like garbage, right? Like her life sucks now, but like she didn't have any sort of like emotional support or any familial support, and we were like, okay, this seems a little unrealistic, right? We're writing a story, and that can be, fiction is fine, but it just seems very what's her name? Her name Bo? Or I think the American version renamed her Belle. In Beauty and the Beast sort of thing, where like her life is awful, except for the fact that she has a dad that she really cares about or something like that. But he's like sick and a really bad businessman or something like that. And her sister, oh wait, the American version doesn't have her with sisters. Interesting. I forget. The French version has her with like two sisters.
I.e. the better original version. Sorry, I have
I
Disney.
Wait, which you think Disney
Talking
one
about
is the best
the,
one?
no, the French version is the better one.
Yeah, the French one was pretty good. I read that in I read it in English class. It was pretty good. A lot of stuff the American one took out, but yeah, like the same sort of thing where like it's a very unrealistic scenario where nobody likes her, and her life sucks, but she just remains chipper. And that's the same thing with Leia. But hopefully that will take us into some pretty interesting avenues in terms of like how we're going to look at Leia later on in the story. How you, the audience, are going to perceive Leia, especially her attitude towards things. How are you going to respond to that versus how you would have responded to it if everything in her life really did suck. Because some things in her life are actually pretty okay and aren't that bad. What else about episode 2 do you guys feel like stood out to you or really interesting or important, do you feel?
Leia has a lot of feelings tied up with Angelica. Like, bro.
Yeah.
As much as she's like, I hate her so much, like, Chief, she's like the one person that you keep thinking about, man. SMH. I think it's weird because I think that also just goes into the problem with like when you only have one friend, and then if that friend ever leaves you for whatever reason and you don't know how to function outside of that one person, that's a toxic relationship. Because like if you depend on one person too much and you're like, they were my entire like friend, I don't know what to do now. It's like your life should never depend. Like, I mean, unless they're your parents, that's an exception. But like in terms of friendships, I don't think that it's healthy to just solely depend on one person.
Got you. Oh boy. Wow. We're professionals, people. All right. We're professionals. We know what we're doing. And we keep it professional on here. Never is it not professional.
Really? Not when you two? Not when any of you are rambling about anime?
Oh, that's an interesting
That's
point.
not professional?
It's incredibly professional, actually, you know?
How do you think anime people make anime?
Yeah, exactly. You know?
They have to ramble about, and then they make money, so they are professionals.
That is one thing that we do on a regular basis when we're recording or writing together, is somehow, one way or another, we end up talking about anime or...
Well, this is how it happens most of the time. They'll be talking about some anime show or movie or something, and then I'll be like...
so many Phineas and Ferb backgrounds.
Then I'll be like...
I'm sorry, I thought we were talking about anime professionalism.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, of course. How could I? Actually, let's get back on track here. We were about to, thank God that Phineas and Ferb background changed. We were about to go on such a heavy tangent into something totally unrelated to what we're doing. I think it's interesting that you did mention the amount of feelings that Leia has tangled up with Angelica that like you said, developed from a dependency upon her for friendship, or at least even more so, a dependency upon her to maintain the relationship between her, Chad, and Crocs, keeping that group together. Is kind of obvious that Angelica was the missing key, because once they stopped being friends, everything sort of drifted apart. How it drifted apart, you guys will find out if you keep watching. So do that, please. Also, if you're watching this on Instagram or YouTube, like and follow or subscribe. Please hit the bell notifications. Or as YouTubers say, smash that like button and notification and subscribe. Thank you. Anyway, back to the topic and matter at hand. People are probably wondering, like, why is the story called The Knife? When is somebody gonna get stabbed? And, be patient, okay? Because it's coming up. All right, it's gonna be here soon. It's gonna be here soon, and it's gonna take a very interesting turn. Um, but what else is interesting about episode 2? Um, I think going back to Miss Jones, if I can. I think, despite despite her, she's mean sort of, but she's a person. But I think mentioning her and bringing her up is super important in episode 2 or in the story in general, because I think a lot of teachers and a lot of parents really don't understand the impact that they have or could have on a student's life, because it's pretty commonly known, like younger people are very susceptible to new ideas, to changing, and a lot of parents and teachers will say and do things to a student that they themselves as an adult might be able to handle or might be able to take, might be able to kind of muscle through. But when you say or do those things to a young person, the effect that it could have in the long term, is pretty tremendous. And what you say or do to a student can lead them on a very specific and frankly just bad path, which they will end up on for your entertainment, of course, really. But yes, anything else you guys feel about that? Because I think Miss Jones did a pretty good job of explaining that,
Did you just say Miss Jones did a really good job of explaining that?
No, I mean like explaining the idea that a bad teacher can, quote unquote, bad teacher is in like a teacher that doesn't care about their students. The teacher doesn't care about their students and in fact lashes out at their students when they're not really satisfied with their own life. The effect that can have on students and the effect that it's having on Leia and probably going to have later on Leia. Anything else?
She particularly lashes out. She won't just yell, but
well, I don't think she's like
she's more
socking.
like bored. She's more like bored and acts like she doesn't care about them.
That's interesting.
What's crazy about that is like, it takes so much work to be a teacher. I'm like, anyways, that's a whole nother tangent. That's a different topic. But
No, you can talk about it. That's an interesting thing.
Like, I never understood, like on shows, or I guess in books in this case, where it's like really crappy teachers, and I'm sitting here like, it takes so much work to be a teacher. How did you get and maintain your job if you suck this much? Like, there's a certain level of suckage where I'm like, okay, that's fair, that's legit. But then it's like, like that's you gotta go to college for that ish. You have to get like certain degrees. You have to meet the quota of the like each school district has their own curriculum that a lot of teachers have to follow, and it's like, I know those test scores aren't saying zeros for no reason. Who's gonna call her out? Maybe. Actually, I'll take note of that for later.
Sound like you're
a test score.
plotting against the teacher you know.
No, I just have 2 teacher parents.
That sounds like an interesting experience. Anything else about episode 2, anyone? How many minutes are we even now? We started at like 2:31 instead of 2:30 because, I don't know, somebody showed up late. Whoever that was. No, we're not going to say who it was, but it happened.
It doesn't really count as late.
1 minute late counts as late. That is
I know. You may as well kick me out of the group now.
Basically. I mean, if you...
Sometimes you start at 3:01. I mean, sorry. Sometimes you start at 4:31.
No. The meeting
Because if you
starts
open it
at 4:30 And if the meeting starts at 4:30 and you show up at 4:31, you're late.
But if you say that the meeting starts at 4:30 and you start at 4:31, you yourself.
Yeah, how is it? Yeah.
No, the meeting has started late now because you showed up at 4:31. The meeting
Wait, no, this is
opened
what
up at
happens.
4:30, and now it had to start. Stop changing your background.
I'm sorry. While you're ranting about whatever, I'm just trying to focus on which background of Canderemy looks best. So if you'll excuse me, I have some priorities.
Dear God,
My bad.
dear
I have
God.
taste.
The facial
What show is
anatomy
that
of
from?
this guy. Phineas and Ferb. Okay.
Emma, you're so
We-
young.
We'll talk about that on the next discussion. That like you just asked that question. But yeah, for letting you guys know this before we kind of end the meeting out, Ella has apparently never watched television.
I watch television.
Sure.
That's me right now. You see, Candace, that's
Yeah.
me right now.
That's an appropriate expression. Also, where are your eyebrows, Candace? Anyway, thank you guys for watching this extremely professional episode. Extremely professional discussion. We'll hopefully bring back some more content. Episode 3 is coming out, and another discussion about episode 3, as all these discussions are about the following episodes, or the previous episodes. Anyway, yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to us. Can't wait to talk about episode 3 with you guys, and perhaps another person who isn't part of our creative team. Yeah, if there's any questions you have about episodes when you see them, make sure to comment, and hopefully we can address some of those questions if we can without spoilers. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you turn on the bell notification. All right, everybody. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.